As always, Ted, kick us off. Who do you have as your winner of the weekend?
OU baseball, baby. Unbelievable. 3-game series against Virginia Tech. Looked amazing in game 1. Game 2, Virginia Tech had the bats out. We're dropping bombs. And with everything on the line, Cade Horton went out there, had an awesome start. Baseball team is hot right now. They are red hot. Got a matchup with Texas A&M. Was it next Friday? I believe things get underway.
Yes,
sir.
In
Omaha. First time, I believe, since 2010, since they've been. Awesome stuff. Team just caught fire the back half of the regular season, the Big 12 season, and they haven't looked back.
I have watched more OU baseball in the last 2 weeks
Agree.
than I've watched in the last several years combined. I'm not going to lie. So if you want to call me a bandwagon OU baseball fan, then, hey, guilty. I'm fine with that. But, hey, I'm an OU alum. I cheer for them when they're playing, and this is the first time in a long time that I've paid very close attention to what's going on. And watching them slowly dismantle Virginia Tech on Sunday was awesome.
This is great. Great pitching. Play in the outfield was awesome. Kendall Pettis has been unbelievable in the postseason. Unbelievable.
Did you see him go flipping into the bullpen, making that catch?
Flipping over the bullpen.
Sweet.
He made another diving catch. I don't know what he's hitting in the postseason, but it's insane. He's scoring so many runs and getting on base and just I think he's the 9-hole hitter too.
Yeah.
And he's been on fire. So they're a lot of fun to watch, man. A lot of fun right now. I'm with you. Keep up with OU baseball typically through Toby Rowland, and I don't think I've missed a game since they started the Big 12 tourney. Been a lot of fun.
I will say I thought Treadaway was huge in that game 3, right? The momentum that those bombs brought, I thought that was massive. Peyton Graham could absolutely rake for a skinny dude. I mean, it's unbelievable to watch.
And he's got a little bit of style to him as well. Whenever he hits a bomb, he stands there and stares at it, which the Florida players didn't like a whole lot. But which, by the way, I know we're skipping to the Virginia Tech deal, but beating Florida felt good. That felt good. When they lost that second game, I was like, oh my gosh, this is. It was bad enough where I thought maybe they're going to lose all of their momentum, but they were able to bounce back and get a win. But you're right. He's got a whip for an arm at that shortstop spot, and he's got some bat speed.
He's like, you see that guy, and it's almost like a golfer, right?
Yes. Yep.
Where you're like, he's long, he's getting like, there's no way that dude. And then you see the speed he generates with those long levers. You're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, he's a good player, man. They've got a fun team. They're, I'm not a baseball guy, but having that belief and catching fire and having momentum is as critical as anything. And they've had it and they've held on to it, man.
I will say this, just with softball winning the national title, baseball now headed to Omaha, which, by the way, we should try to go to that. That would be so much fun.
That would be awesome.
I've never been, would love to go. But baseball and softball, like the format, the postseason format, may be my favorite format in college athletics.
You get a lot of FaceTime, don't you?
Well, it's not only that, like, I feel like you really get the best teams, like the teams that are playing the best way, that the 3-game super regional, the way that the regionals work, like, I don't know, it just feels like their format.
You can't fluke your way through.
Yeah. It's not as much as we love March Madness, right? Sometimes like the best teams don't make it to the Final Four. Like if you played 3-game series, I don't know. I really enjoy
other
the way
than
that
Notre Dame knocking off Tennessee, the massive 1 seed, which That's great. Hey, they had a great team. They were fun to watch, but I think that helps everyone else's chances out quite a bit. That was cool to see.
Yeah. So it's a really good format. I
I
don't know.
agree.
I don't think you can replicate it in football or anything like that, but college basketball, if they did something like that, that'd be awesome. I know that it'll never happen because March Madness makes so much money, but I'm just saying, really enjoy the regional, then super regional, then the World
I
Series
agree.
format. So it's cool. All right, who do you have as your loser of the weekend?
I had to go with uh Tua Tagovailoa
Oh
down
boy.
at Miami. You know, it's not his fault that Tyreek Hill is going out and writing checks that he is not going to be able to cash, but like Tyreek Hill is basically making everyone scrutinize Tua more than they should. I think Tua is probably going to come into his own and have his best season yet. But come on, dude. You don't have to go out there, Tyreek, and start saying that he's more accurate than Patrick Mahomes. I don't even care if it's true. No one is going to take your word for it on that. They're just going to, it's going to start a round of Tua slander that didn't even need to happen.
He really do you think Tua is sitting there like, hey, thanks, Tyreek. I appreciate it. I appreciate you setting up all these people to dunk on me because like really you're gonna say he's more accurate than Mahomes? Come on, man. What are we doing?
I, hey, I get Mahomes' last couple of games in the playoffs. He didn't have his best stuff necessarily, but you're throwing in like helmets and shorts right now. Okay, if you're wearing helmets at all, don't start that comparison yet. Maybe if you're halfway through the season and Tua is completing like 70+% of his passes, maybe start talking about it then. But right now, all you're doing is bringing a ton of heat on Tua that he doesn't need at the moment.
It's just it's so unnecessary, right?
I know.
It's so unnecessary. And for also he kind of went at Andy Reid. Also, it's like, what do you do? Like Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes, they're gonna be just fine next season without Tyreek Hill. Like they'll be just fine.
Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes just got Tyreek Hill. I don't know how big his contract is. Probably 80 million bucks, 70 million bucks. Isn't that what he got? Like he owes everything to those two guys for that because he probably doesn't go off the way he did in Kansas City anywhere else.
Yeah, he's got incredible speed. There's no doubt about it. I'm sure he's going to be productive in Miami. But man, you just had a hell of a run, some really successful years in Kansas City. Why say this dumb stuff? Like what good comes from it?
He should have left it whenever he said he was way more accurate than he expected. Done.
Yeah.
That's it. That's great. That's great.
Everyone's like, good. To it. That's good. That's great.
That's
and
awesome.
Now,
How about this Tua guy?
and he really escalated. Oh, he's more accurate. He's more accurate than Mahomes. Mahomes wouldn't have been anything without me. What? I mean, I made it so much easier for him to play quarterback. Well, yeah, that's probably true, but it is
amazing.
It's just unnecessary, man. Yeah, Tua's got to be sitting there going, I mean, really, man? Like, you couldn't just leave it at that one compliment? I appreciate it, but God. Why?
I don't know.
Tua. Poor Tua. All right, let's get to my winner and loser. But first,
First Fidelity Bank is a full-service financial institution based in Oklahoma with tailored solutions for all your personal and business needs. Checking accounts, saving accounts, home loans, and much more. They do it all. Whether it's online banking from your computer or mobile banking from your phone, everything is stress-free with FFB. Making mobile deposits, paying bills online, and moving money to different accounts could not be easier. First Fidelity Bank provides free ATMs worldwide, making banking convenient wherever you are. They also give back to the community. FFB donates a total of more than $500,000 to local charities and educational foundations. Make your life easier and go bank with First Fidelity Bank. Visit ffb.com for more information.
And if you're a whiskey or bourbon drinker, stop what you're doing, head to your favorite liquor store and buy some Balcones products. You got to grab some of Balcones Lineage Single Malt Whiskey. It was just voted one of the top 20 whiskeys in the world by Whiskey Advocate, and you'll be shocked by how affordable it is. Also, you got to snag some of Balcones Baby Blue Corn Whiskey.
It's made from blue corn. That's the fancy corn.
And that is why it has won more than 25 awards. Last but certainly not least, you got to buy some of Balcones Pot Still Bourbon. Its big flavors make it the perfect bourbon to drink year-round. Remember, in 2012, Balcones Single Malt won the Best in Glass competition, beating brands like Johnny Walker and Macallan, and became the first American distillery to win that competition. This stuff is the real deal, people. If you love great whiskey and bourbon at a great price, then Balcones products are the only way to go. The whiskey may be made in Texas, but the owners, yes, they are from Oklahoma. To find a liquor store that has it, visit balconesdistilling.com. All right, for my winner of the weekend, thought about going with LeBron James. Guy became a billionaire playing basketball. It's pretty damn sweet.
Pretty good.
Pretty good. Also, says he's got his eyes on NBA ownership and says he wants in Vegas. And I know there are a lot of people that talked about this, but LeBron playing for the Vegas team in its inaugural season, that would not suck. I would like to watch that.
That would be crazy. I still feel like of all the professional teams, an NBA team in Vegas is the one most likely to go horribly wrong. But I'm still here for it. I think it's going to be awesome. And if LeBron can get a group together, probably going to have a good opportunity for it. You know, I don't know what the price tag is going to be to start one up, but it's going to be a lot. It's going to be big. And I know he knows the right people. He's already a part owner in one of the soccer teams in the Red Sox, right?
Yeah, Liverpool.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's part of that. Yeah, it's like I forgot what the group is called, but they definitely it's Fenway something. And yeah, it's Red Sox, Liverpool. So he's got stakes in a few professional franchises as well already. So it makes a lot of sense for the NBA, give him a piece of the Vegas team, become the face of that team, and then transition into ownership. That would be really cool. I would enjoy that.
It's wild to LeBron James going Jackie Moon on us and playing for his own team. That'd be awesome.
That would be
special.
That would be pretty cool. But my winner of the weekend, Steph Curry. And by the way, I don't know why they're not playing an NBA Finals game on Sunday night, but it is what it is. Monday night is game 5's on Monday night. But game 4, Steph Curry put the Warriors on his back and carried them to a victory in Boston to even up that series 2-2. 43 points, hit 7 threes, also had 10 rebounds in the game. And Ted, I know you don't love the mouthpiece. I know we all still have some hate in our heart for Steph Curry for, when the Warriors and Thunder were going at it years ago. But that was so fun to watch. And when you talk about great players, I think what makes guys truly great is stepping up in the biggest moments and dragging your team to victory. And that's what separates the all-time greats from guys that were really, really good. And that's exactly what Steph Curry did in game 4. Performances like that are what make him truly one of the all-time greats. Yes, he's the best shooter ever, I understand, but his team needed him, and boy, did he deliver. That was, dude, no matter how you feel about the guy, that was fun to watch. Right? Yep. That was fun to watch.
He's amazing. The shot making, the handle he's got, he's just unbelievable. He's an absolute freak. But someday, many years from now, when he's looking back on his great career and he's scrolling through all the photos, in every single photo, whether it's a game-winning shot or, a big-time play or, a celebration afterwards, he's going to say, why in the hell did I have that stupid mouthpiece hanging out of my mouth for all of these pictures? It's going to be horrible. It's going to be horrible. Like every iconic picture of Steph Curry is going to have like a spit infested, chewed up mouthpiece hanging out of his mouth. It's horrible.
I wonder, and he was shooting some clutch free throws and he was gnawing on it the way that I know you hate. Mm-hmm. And it made me think, like, how influential is Steph Curry? Because I think just from when visiting teams come and play the Thunder, like, I always pay attention, like, okay, who's got the biggest pull with kids, right? Like, who do you see the most kids wearing jerseys? Steph Curry, he's got to be the most popular player amongst kids by a lot.
It's crazy.
It's insane. Do you think he is influencing America's youth negatively? Do you think they are chewing, or they are using mouthpieces improperly because of his influence? Is this an epidemic?
We're going to look back and we're going to blame this sudden rash of mouth injuries and concussions in basketball directly to Steph Curry. That's what's going to happen.
Teeth problems, a direct result of the way that Steph Curry chews on his mouth.
It really is crazy, though. And I know we've talked about this, but I still can't think of anyone in any other sport that has changed it the way that it's played so drastically in such a short amount of time as Steph Curry.
Yeah, and he was so good in that game. And I will give the rest of the Warriors some credit. The game was on the line, and they completely shut the Celtics down. Right? They defended their asses off. And now the Celtics couldn't hit any shots. Things got really stagnant for them offensively. Marcus Smart is the ultimate, like, oh, it's my time. Here we go. I'm taking over. Oh man, it's got to be such a love-hate relationship. If you're a Celtics fan with Marcus Smart, man, it's got to be brutal at times. But they really ramped the defense up, and guys stepped up. Like, Kevon Looney had like the most important basket of the entire game. Yeah. And it was a heck of a win by the Warriors, because, man, I thought Boston was going to go up 3-1 and that series was pretty much going to be over. And all I care about, because I don't want either of these teams to win an NBA championship. I just wanted to go to 7 games, and I want that 7th game to be suspenseful as hell, because game 4, I had a ton of fun watching it. I would like to get to a game 7 and have a similar experience.
Yeah, there's been a lot of blowouts through these playoffs. It's been crazy.
So many.
And, I never thought that I would reach a point to where I would say that no matter who they're playing, no matter who's on the floor, that I would say Draymond Green's my favorite player out there. But here I am. Myself from 2 years ago would have slapped the hell out of me right now for saying that. But I don't know what it is. There's been a little bit of maturity there for Draymond Green as well, probably for myself also, but I enjoy watching the guy play. How sad is that?
He is a broken man offensively.
Yeah.
And Steve Kerr, he didn't bench him, but he kind of did. It was like a little offense-defense thing late, but he sat him down, and that's really when they made the run. And that had to be he had to be sitting there going, well, okay, it's come to this. Like, and now everyone's just, whether he plays well, whether he plays poorly, like, now everyone just talks about the podcast. Like, it's just, he's got all kinds of things going on. But I'll tell you this, he's made a ton of money playing basketball. He's probably got, a couple years left. He's going to make a ton of money in broadcasting. Yep. He's going to be great.
Speaking of a ton of money, and this is off topic, but really quickly, are the Pelicans insane? Are they really going to give Zion a max rookie extension?
I don't really know what else they're supposed to do. I know, dude. Like,
You want me to tell you what they do? They cut him or trade him or just let the contract expire. That's what they have to do.
When you're the Pelicans, right? And you're a smaller market team in the NBA, you can't lose that type of asset for nothing. Remember when we lost Durant for nothing? Like, it is you. So remember, and he's played 80 something games in his career, which clearly he's missed a ton of time. But when he played, he was awesome. I mean, he was unstoppable when he played. So I guess if you're David Griffin and the leadership there for the Pelicans, you just have to hope he gets in shape.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what other choice they would have.
I don't know. Sign and trade. There's got to be someone that wants him, right? I don't know. Maybe not. I guess they are kind of in a tough spot, but I got news for you. He ain't going to play. He's going to be hurt. He's going to be overweight. He's going to be hurt, and it's going to be a never-ending cycle. He will not last through this next contract in the NBA.
It's my fear that we've already seen his best.
I know.
Which is a bummer because he's incredibly entertaining to watch play basketball.
Yeah.
He's a freak. But yeah, your body is your most important asset when you are a professional athlete. It's kind of the whole thing. And he hasn't taken care of himself the way you need to. So we'll see if that changes. But I think they're doing the only thing they really can do, and they got to pay him. And it's not great, but it is what it is. All right, for my loser of the weekend, thought about going with the PGA Tour because, hey, Rory wins there in Toronto. Awesome, right? 19 under. It was fun to watch. I think he won $1.6 million. Meanwhile, Charles Schwartzel won the first LIV Golf event and took home a cool $4.75 million.
I didn't even realize the PGA played this weekend. Did that even happen?
It did. And Rory McIlroy, who has now become like the voice of reason in golf, won the event. But all anyone is talking about is Schwartzel. And remember, he won the individual. So he took that home. And then his team, Stinger GC or whatever the hell it's called, those graphics are awful. The broadcast was actually pretty good. I watched quite a bit of it. There's no commercials. Yeah. You're just watching guys pound the golf ball. It's kind of awesome. Now, the graphic, that little sidebar, that needs some work. I mean, guys, it just looks ridiculous. But as far as getting to watch guys play golf, pretty solid. I mean, pretty solid, but he won the individual. His team won the team competition, which is like $750,000 that he took away from that. Because
four guys split $3 million, right? Isn't that how that went? Yeah.
Yeah, but I saw this from ESPN. Schwartzel won more prize money in that event than he'd won in the last 4 years combined.
Wow.
Other guys are going to see that and be like, hold up. What? I'm better than Charles Schwartzel. And we just saw it, right? Patrick Reed and DeChambeau making the move to it. That is, Charles Schwartzel won like $5 million and Rory got 1.6.
Yep. Here's the thing too. The PGA Tour, in my opinion, the way the PGA is handling this, which, part of me understands because this is a direct threat. Like that type of money and that type of purse is a big time threat for them. But the way that they're going about it and hammering these guys and talking about, like, obviously the Saudi Arabia thing, man, you don't even have to go a layer deep to see the PGA and where they accept money. They accept money from China. They got the PGA China Tour, which they're in trouble over. Saudi Arabia, the same fund that started the LIV Golf is heavily invested in the PGA through the Fanatics Tour Shop. I mean, come on. Like, a lot of the sponsors, you can start looking like who is going to decide who you can do business with, what's acceptable to take money from, what countries it's acceptable to take money from. That's a dangerous road to go down. If you want to start calling people out, you better take a look at your own bank accounts and where that money's coming from.
Yeah. And I will say this, a little peek behind the curtain here of the podcast. Before the PGA Championship at Southern Hills, we were supposed to have Taylor Gooch on the pod. And a couple hours before we were supposed to record, and you and I were both fired up about it. He was fired up about it. He sent us a message. Hey, I got to get some contract stuff figured out. And I got to get it figured out tonight. It now makes a lot more sense what he had to do.
Yeah.
Him and his agent were figuring out this contract. So,
and it was a big deal because
huge deal.
It turned into, okay, I'm going to go try it out, to it's like, now you've got to pick between the two, and I think he had a 9th place finish, and I think he was over 500K that he won, which is a really nice payday for a top 10. But, whenever you think about it, like, if you're not going to win 5 majors and you kind of know where you are, you're not going to break. If you're realistic and you're not going to break through, and you're not going to be one of the top handful of guys that get all of the sponsor money and win the majors, then okay, you're looking at the money situation, right? And you talked about it, like 4.75 for Charles Schwartzel. Everyone's going to be looking at that a little bit different after that, because it's one thing to see it all and to know how much money they're going to get, but whenever it actually happens, it's like, so hang on, what are the details to this again?
Can you tell me about it again? I do think the most interesting part about this, the guys that have gone and played now, is, are they going to be allowed to play, be allowed to play in the majors, right? Because they're not allowed to play in the PGA events, even on sponsor exemptions. Like they're not, like, they made that clear, which was a big development. But can Phil Mickelson really not play in the Masters?
Right. You got the Masters and the US Open, and even I guess the British isn't a PGA, is right.
it? And remember, I think the PGA Tour is technically a little different, than the PGA of America. So they're going to have to make that decision. I would assume that decision's coming relatively soon. But I'll say this: I was a bottom of the roster guy in the NFL. If someone would have said, "Hey, you can go play in this league, there will be less competition, and we'll pay you a ton of money, way more money than you're making now," I probably would have did that. Yeah. Probably would have did that.
It's hard to really I know the PGA is trying like hell to discredit these guys and really saying some pretty bad things about them, considering some of the people that the PGA Tour does business with. But yeah, if you're going to be playing golf and you got a chance to make way more money, you're probably going to try and make way more money.
Yep.
Not that difficult of a formula.
It's going to be fascinating to see how this thing continues to develop. I mean, it really is. And I want to know, and listen, I think the Saudis, that they're good for the money. Right. I want to know when that direct deposit hits Schwartzel's account. That's what I want to know.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
That's going to be a good feeling.
That's crazy.
My loser of the weekend. Oh, you thought just because I'm all the way out here in Hawaii that I wasn't going to be watching that Azerbaijan Grand Prix, Ted? Wrong, my friend. Ferrari, my loser of the weekend, man. Carlos Sainz, brake issues. Charles Leclerc, engine blows up on him. Complete engine failure. Neither of the red pony cars finish. 2 DNFs now in the last three races for Leclerc. It's all falling apart for the Frenchman, Ted. And guess who won? Just guess.
My guess is Verstappen.
You're a genius, man.
Well, it's not that hard with Mercedes porpoising like crazy and the Ferraris can't even finish a race. There's only really one person left.
Well, hey, George Russell, he's finding a groove there in Mercedes, and he's out driving Hamilton. He really is. The porpoising problem appears to have been addressed. Now, is it completely solved? Not sure, but Red Bull they're rolling. Man, Verstappen wins. He takes the checker flag there at Baku. Sergio Perez finishes second. So Red Bull goes 1-2 there in Azerbaijan. And
I actually watched a lot of the practice rounds. How about that?
it's fun. Those cars go fast.
It's good.
It's fun to
My
watch.
nephew's big into it. My sister got him some tickets to the one coming up in Austin.
Those tickets, I assume, are not cheap. So that's great. But Verstappen now a 21-point lead in the driver's standings after a rough start to the season. Ferrari just they're in a slide, man. Now down 80 points to Red Bull in the team standings. Just got to finish some races in the red cars, boys. I mean, come on, what are we doing? I thought Ferrari, it seemed like start of the season, like they were really going to challenge Red Bull, but starting to feel like Red Bull's pulling away, man.
Yeah, you got to be sweating. I'll be interested to see how it goes behind the scenes with their crew chief. What's going on with these cars? Let's go. Was it Leclerc like 2 weeks ago when we were doing it? Was it on the last lap whenever he was going, no,
no. Yes, that was him. That was him.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, he is very, very frustrated currently. He hadn't finished 2 out of the last 3 races. Like the car is just blown up on him. Like
Brutal.
Yeah, out of his control, man. That sport. It's a fascinating sport.